think the third time is the charm. And yes, I know there are many other failed businesses in front of that, but we don't really have the 23rd time is the charm, as a saying in this country. Let's talk about Truth Social. For those of us who browse Twitter and think to ourselves, just not offensive enough. I mean, where's all the racism? Where's all the homophobia? Oh, there goes some. Oh, there you go. All right, yeah. All right, let's get a little bit better. But you know what? What's with all these well wishes and baby shower and all this happy stuff and celebrating sports? No. Mainline me the racism and the homophobia. Well, I got you. Emerging in 2022 as Trump's personal social media hub, Truth Social was conceived as a MAGA-friendly alternative to Twitter following Trump's ban from the platform after January 6th. And if you remember, his reaction to getting banned from Twitter after January 6th was way more severe than his reaction to you connecting him to January 6th. Just as long as we know where his priorities lie. Now, since its inception, Truth Social has teetered on the brink of financial ruin because of that whole part about it being Trump's personal social media hub. I swear if this dude went into partnership with Amazon, they would go bankrupt. Boasting a modest 5 million monthly active users, which quite frankly restores my faith in humanity, the platform revolves predominantly around Trump as an exclusive outlet for his unfiltered diatribes, attacks against political adversaries, endorsements, and self-promotion. It would kind of be like Instagram, but you can only follow one person. And the pictures are way worse. Now, despite internal turmoil, federal scrutiny, and a myriad of legal and criminal entanglements involving its primary stakeholders, which I know is shocking for a Trump-involved business, Truth Social ventured into the stock market late last month. However, the post-IPO period has been tumultuous with dismal financial reports rattling investor confidence, but that doesn't mean valuations and stock prices have stayed down. The disconnect between the actual financials and the potential price valuations of Trump stock is, shall we say, dubious. And then you have Trump filing lawsuits against two of the platform's co-founders. Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? Oh, Trump filed a lawsuit against people he was in business with. I tell you what, if they were smart, when they went into business with Trump, they would have laid down a huge bet on FanDuel that he would eventually sue them. I mean, really, it's malpractice if they didn't do that. And you know how long that line to get paid by Donald Trump has to be? I mean, really, like how long is that line? It's clearly years long. And you know what? It's too bad y'all can't sing, because if the co-founders of Truth Social could sing, then they could join the hostages singing the national anthem and at least get some royalty checks. Now, ultimately, do I feel bad for these dudes? Hell no. Hell no. You knew who this dude is, and you wanted to give him a personal platform to spread his hate and misinformation. Not to mention the fact that you knew how long the line of people waiting to get paid by Trump was. You knew about all the bankruptcies, and you decide to, of your own free will and volition, go into business with this man. I'm sorry. I mean, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? The evidence was all there. And now, congratulations, Truth Social can join a long list of off brands that we look and point at, like Mountain Drive soda or Popsy soda or Dr. Perky. You know, the soft drinks actually has a lot of these off brand. Prank cereal. How about Prank cereal? Cream Betweens. You know what? Maybe when you're finished after a long afternoon of litigation with Trump's lawyers, you can go get a snack at a Domino Pizza. Maybe that can be it. And you can have some dessert and smother it with Nutmaster. And then on your way out, grab a Cat Cot. That is right. Cat Cot. Pretty much, Truth Social is the Cat Cot of social media platforms. Now, in an attempt to allay concerns, Trump took to Truth Social to extol its virtues, emphasizing its purported financial solidity and its unparalleled influence, which I can attest to because Truth Social became a model for Elon Musk's Twitter, which feels exactly like Truth Social. So they have that to look forward to. Now, here's how we got here. And keep in mind, I'm excluding a ton of litigation because of that whole part about Trump being involved. Now, there was January 8th, 2021. Let's get back in the way, way back machine where we were a kindler, gentler nation. Not really, because it was still after January 6th. January 8th, 2021, Trump faced expulsion from Twitter for his association with the insurrection. Then you fast forward to October 21st of 2021, Trump announced the establishment of Trump Media and Technology Group, signaling plans for a Twitter rival. And you have to think about the logic involved in that. So let's see. Trump University didn't work out. And then Trump Steaks didn't work out. You know what? I think technology. We couldn't do meat and we couldn't do higher education, but I think technology. I think the third time is the charm. And yes, I know there are many other failed businesses in front of that, but we don't really have the 23rd time is the charm, as a saying in this country. You go to October 21st, 2021, hackers unearthed Truth Social's beta domain, initiating a wave of trolling. So yes, there've been problems going back that far. Now, Truth Social finally launched on February 21st, 2022. However, by March 30th, 2022, Truth Social's user growth and website traffic plummeted. I guess they had made all the racist jokes in a month. Like they had made all the memes in a month. Or maybe it's just not as much fun where we just sit here trolling each other. You know, when I don't feel like I'm ruining somebody's day with my offensive material, it just don't hit the same. It doesn't. Let's go to April 4th, 2022. That's when Truth Social's key executives depart amid software glitches and stagnation. June 8th of the same year, Trump and others exit Trump Media and Technology Group's board amidst legal scrutiny. I know, imagine that. And I tried to exclude all the legal stuff, but you know, you can't. I mean, separating Trump from legal scrutiny is like trying to break up Will and Jada. November 19th of 2022, Trump's reinstatement on Twitter diminishes the appeal of Truth Social. If you didn't know it was over when they got bored making the memes in 1 month, you might have knew it was over in November of the same year when Trump was reinstated to Twitter. And he took to it like a fish to water. The shame. It's like the CEO of Reebok just walking around in Nike all day. Now, on November 13th of 2023, Truth Social's financial records revealed substantial losses, exacerbating investor concerns. And February 28th of 2024, co-founders of the Trump Media and Technology Group filed a lawsuit accusing Trump of diluting their shares. Yes, the co-founders of his media group filed a lawsuit accusing Trump of diluting their shares. In March of 2024, March 26th, Trump Media and Technology Group goes public under the DJT ticker, albeit with a tumultuous start. And by tumultuous start, I mean the founders suing DJT. Not the ticker. I mean the actual person. On April 2nd, 2024, Trump launched legal action against the co-founders of Truth Social, exacerbating company turmoil. April 3rd, investors pled guilty to insider trading, casting a shadow over Truth Social's financial dealings. That's right. They just went public and already investors have pled guilty to insider trading. It's a Trump world. The same month, this month, revelations surfaced regarding emergency loans from a Russian-American businessman, fueling further scrutiny. That is how we got all the way from here to there, which is kind of like saying, how did that bag go from the upstairs trash can to the downstairs trash can? Now, since it has gone public, it has become a bit of a meme stock. You remember, you know, the meme stocks. We went through that with the movie theaters and all that. People just think it's fun to buy Donald Trump stock and make videos about it. And I don't know the logic. I'm trying to put myself in the logic. I mean, buying the wearable gold bricks was one thing. Like choosing to wear the most gaudy ankle weights in the history of humanity was one thing. But actually investing, that's That's a whole nother level of I don't care about my money, despite the fact that I don't have very much. Now, I know how seldom those of you buying this meme stock take investment advice, or we wouldn't be here. But here's CNBC.
Not a political question about former President Trump, but actually a business question about Truth Social. You've seen this stock on the move in this, I'll call it remarkable, maybe even crazy way.
Just say two words: GameStop.
GameStop. That's what you think is going on here.
It's ridiculous.
The
company has no revenue.
But do you think it could ever be a bigger business? Do you think if he wins the presidency, it becomes?
Why?
I'm asking.
Why would it be bigger? Look, he's only interesting now because he's out there entertaining the folks. I hope if he does get elected, he just plays golf for 4 years. But
so, do you think that all of the investors in this are getting scammed? Do you think they think this is a transference of wealth from one side to the other, and that's the goal? What do you think is happening?
I think they're dopes.
And if that wasn't enough, I will point you to that long line of people waiting to get paid by Trump, which actually just got longer because the co-founders of Truth Social just, hey, what's happening? Yeah, they just got in line. There's also this Washington Post report revealing that Truth Social lost $58 million last year. Trump Media, by the way, only has 36 employees, and the online analytics from SimilarWeb estimated that Truth Social's traffic is less than 1% of Reddit's, a platform that received $800 million in revenue last year, while Truth Social received just $4 million. Yet, thanks to your fun and games, it's fun to buy DJT. Thanks to it becoming a meme stock, Trump Media's value is estimated at about $5.5 billion. Yes, their value estimated at $5.5 billion, yet losing $50 million a year. And Trump Social appears to be its only asset, which is only bringing in $4 million in revenue. That $5.5 billion is more than the market shares of Macy's, Columbia Sportswear, and Alaska Airlines, with Trump as the primary shareholder. So if I got this right, that money isn't coming from revenue, clearly. I don't think that money's coming from upside potential, because where would the upside potential be? What in any of this video have you seen upside potential? So where do you think that money is coming from? Y'all better hurry up, because that line to get paid by Trump is getting longer every single day. Oh, what? There goes E. Jean Carroll's lawyer again. Man, they stay in this line.
When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that, because we know we have.
I told y'all, the Knicks start winning, their fans start talking crazy. So ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, I can only guess, in advance to the NBA playoffs, deciding he wanted to get his controversy up, decided to go on Sean Hannity's show on Fox News and extol the virtues of walking around with a litany of cases while running for president.
That you're scared you can't beat them on the issues and the merits.
Here now with more. ESPN host, the one, the only, he hates to admit he's a friend of mine. You can admit it. Just say it. My friend Stephen A. Smith is here.
Of course we're friends, man. And when I think about Donald Trump, I think about this case in New York. I mean, I'm looking at the Democrats right now. And again, primarily, I have voted Democrat throughout my life, but I'm utterly disgusted with what I'm seeing, because it seems to me that they're trying to use the law and the courts. They've clearly politicized this thing with Donald Trump, because they can't come up with a strategy to offset the momentum he's clearly gained. In at least 5 polls, he's up. He's up in the polls over Biden, at least 5 polls that I counted. That That's the reality of the situation. Despite the counts against them, the indictments against them, being impeached twice and all of this other stuff, he is the presumptive GOP nominee. And you don't seem to have the issues in your favor, you believe. So because of that, you're going to manipulate the system as best as you possibly can to avoid him possibly running for re-election again. That appears to be their strategy, but I'm here to tell you, it's not working. It's not working at all, and to be quite honest with you, I don't mind the fact that it's not working.
Now, I have to ask you, is it all political or just some of it is political? Because this is a man who's been in litigation literally his entire life, right? This is a man who we can go back to cases all the way back to the 70s. This is a man with a line a mile long to get paid. This is a man who was just sued by the founders of his own media company. So were those political as well? Well, they've been attacking him politically for 50 years. Is that what you're saying? Or those were legitimate, but these couple are political. I'm just trying to understand. And I'm also trying to understand how in a lot of these cases, most of the witnesses against Trump have been Republicans. And in fact, in many cases, Republicans that he has put into place that are testifying against him. So I'm gonna need you to explain that one to me. And while we're talking about Republicans that were put into place, Judge Eileen Cannon, somebody whose departure from all of our precedent in the legal system has been notable by several different oversight groups. I would like to ask you, would that be political as well? Would Eileen Cannon slow walking her trial? Would that be political? And I'm also curious, what exactly is the alternative? If he's out here doing dirt, we don't want to make it seem political. He already thinks he can do whatever he wants. He clearly already thinks he can do whatever he wants. His defense in the document case is literally presidential privilege. He literally told you he feels like he can do whatever he wants as president, but he will still have you march your behind up here and say it's political. Word.
Have you remember John Edwards? Have you remember Gary Hart? Have you remembered some of the things that Clinton has gone through? Now we're going to talk about a hush money case that took place while he was running for election in 2016, but he was in office until 2020, and now here you are in 2024, months before another election, and he's the presumptive GOP nominee, and this is what you're trying to do? It's a disgrace. It's weak. It's pathetic.
Hey, Roland, you want to take this one? And you don't think this would have been an issue for Clinton if he could run for a third term? Hell, it was an issue for Hillary in 2016, and she didn't even do it.
Let me ask you this. We look at polls. Polls are always broken down demographically, and you see this major erosion in the Democratic base for Biden. African Americans, Hispanic Americans, young people, suburban women, for example. I mean, numbers that we've never seen before. In terms of a Democrat. If he doesn't get his base back, which I would argue he's been trying to do, starting with the State of the Union and his jacked up address, he's got no shot. And if Donald Trump could hold on to 5, 10, 15% of the numbers that he has now, he will win the next election. Why is that happening? That's my question.
You know, before you answer that, let's take a look at the polls. That is odd. That is not the rhetoric I have seen on Fox News. Imagine that.
Well, first of all, the streets don't seem safe, and people want safety. We can sit up there and lament, quote unquote, law and order, which is what Donald Trump used to verbalize. But the fact is, the American people like law and order. We want our streets safe. We want to make sure that you've committed a crime, you get to go to jail. You don't sit up there and get arrested and you're out the same day. You don't want to assault people and you're out the same day. That's number one.
The streets don't seem safe. You know what? Let's look at the numbers. Okay, so new FBI data confirms previous indications that crime in the U.S. declined significantly in 2023, continuing a post-pandemic trend and belying widespread perceptions that crime is rising. The new fourth quarter numbers showed a 13% decline in murder in 2023 from 2022, a 6% decline in reported violent crime, and a 4% decline in reported property crime. That's based on data from around 13,000 law enforcement agencies policing about 82% of the U.S. population that provided the FBI with data through December. And then again, there is that whole issue of Republicans in Congress defunding the Department of Justice. So, yeah. I need to ask you, where exactly is it that they don't seem safe? Where exactly is it the streets don't seem safe? Is it on Fox News? Yeah, is it on Fox News where they don't see? Yeah, because when they show archival footage of a burning city and say this is what's going on in D.C. right now, despite me literally being here and everything looking fine. Yeah, the made up stories about it seeming like Jungle Book in the middle of 16th Street. Yeah, they don't seem safe, huh?
And dare I say something that will probably be termed the most uncomfortable thing that I've ever had to articulate out of my mouth from a political perspective. But I got to tell you something. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through, he wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to.
Okay, let's start here. Who are these people? I need to know who these people are, because they clearly weren't at the Black Conservatives Federation. So I need to know who. Oh, you talking about him?
So I know Trump is innocent. I support Trump against this corrupt, two-tiered justice system. That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. And I'm wearing my shirt, Niggas for Trump 2024, and I mean that.
Name one brother that can walk around with 26 credible allegations from women. Yeah, 26 credible allegations from women. Name one brother that walk around with that. Go ahead. I mean, other than Diddy.
When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that, because we know we have.
Oh, our black leaders. Yeah, because we can all remember the 91 indictments MLK had. You don't remember that? That was when he was on his third wife after he had cheated on Coretta. And then he had married the side piece and then ended up leaving the side piece for Jet Beauty of the Week. Except this one had also posed nude overseas. And so Jet blew it out, and they had like a larger, like normal size magazine for that particular Jet Beauty of the Week. It was good. Yeah. And I remember when MLK was in that spot, and I remember when they got Medgar Evers. They got the audio of him talking about grabbing women. I remember when Medgar Evers had to deal with that. I remember that. And y'all remember when Marcus Garvey tried to establish roots, going back to, what did he call it? The shithole countries. Yeah, I remember when Marcus Garvey did that. It's wild to me that this man could walk around with this many charges while running for president. And the lesson you take is the charges and not the fact that he's walking around running for president. Really? Is that something that we can identify with? And I would also ask you, you don't find it odd that now is the time he's talking about black people being treated unfairly? You don't find that odd that the moment when he is running for president and trying to get up under all these cases and trying to convince people to vote for him, that's the moment he's talking about black people being treated unfairly? Because he wasn't talking that noise when we were in the streets talking about Black Lives Matter, was he? No, he wasn't talking that. No. That's when he was talking about law and order. Yeah. You remember when they were pepper spraying and hosing people to clear the streets so he could do his PR stunt holding the Bible? Yeah, not a whole lot of black people being treated unfairly during that time, was it? No, it wasn't a whole lot of black people being treated unfairly. But now is the time. You don't find that odd at all That is curious. That is suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find...
And no, I don't want to hear about the First Step Act, because by the way, the First Step Act was a culmination of years of work on behalf of Congress, of people trying to undo the explosion of the prison population. That was work that started during the Obama administration, because we all know my man likes to put his name on other people's work. Hello, stimulus checks? Yeah. So no, yeah, spare me with that one. But it's curious. He wasn't talking this noise in the 70s when he was discriminating against black people with housing. He wasn't talking this noise in the 80s with the Central Park Five. He wasn't talking this noise in the 90s when they wouldn't have black people on the floor of the casino. He wasn't talking this noise in the 2000s when he refused to have a black accountant. He wasn't talking this noise when he was president. Now when he's running again and he needs to get out from under these cases, now is when black people are being treated unfairly. How slow can y'all possibly be? He is actually weaponizing calling things partisan.
I believe I'm doing well. You know, the polls are all rigged. Of course, lately they haven't been rigged because I'm winning by so much, I don't want to say it. Disregard that statement. I love the polls very much.
He told you the game with the polls. He literally told you the game with the polls. When I'm down, it's rigged, but I'm doing well, so now it's not rigged. He admitted to you the game, that he's weaponizing calling things partisan. So it's partisan when it works against him, but it's not when all is well. He admitted it. And you will still march your black behind up here talking about it's partisan. Now, ultimately, here's the problem. Because it's bad enough that apparently Stephen A. thinks this way. I'm going to take him on his word that he thinks this way. That's bad enough. But to go on Fox News and validate the garbage they pour on their audience every night about us and the way we think is unforgivable. There's only one thing that comes to mind about this whole set of events.
It's no secret that I get disgusted by a lot of things. I'm just so disgusted. I can't tell you how disgusted I am.
I'm disgusted with him right now.
I'm so disgusted. I'm disgusted with it. I'm so disgusted. I'm so damn disgusted. I'm just disgusted. Oh, I'm just trying to be cool, but I'm just so disgusted.
Take it for what it's worth, but that Donald Trump is actually farting in the courtroom and that it's very stinky around him.
Ooh, okay. Excuse me.
Here I am, minding my own business, on vacation with my family, and this is what y'all got going on? As you guys know, I was on vacation. I left for a week, spent some time with my family. And I let you guys know I was leaving, so you guys can be on your best behavior.
Returning to the court proceedings as well, Maggie Haberman reports that Donald Trump continued to fall asleep during the proceedings as well. And, what I'm hearing from my sources as well is that, and I'm hearing from credible sources who know what's going on in the courtroom. And what I'm hearing is that, take it for what it's worth, but that Donald Trump is actually farting in the courtroom and that it's very stinky around him. It's a putrid odor in the courtroom, and that Trump's lawyers are like repulsed by the scent and the smell. And I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, funny. I'm actually, we have good sources there. And I'm hearing it from actual credible people that as he's kind of falling asleep, he is actually passing gas, and that his lawyers are really struggling with the smell.
I had high hopes for you guys. I said, you're going to be on your best behavior. And that was the plan.
Ooh, okay. Excuse me.
And here I am, minding my own business. On vacation with my family. And this is what y'all got going on? This is really what y'all doing. When I go on vacation, this is what y'all doing. This is what y'all doing. Got the hashtag Trump smells like ass trending for the whole week. You didn't think I would want to participate in hashtag Trump smells like ass? Huh? You didn't think I would want to participate? This what y'all got going on the whole time I'm on vacation. Even had Don Fartleone trending. Word. That's what we doing when I leave? Don Fartleone? You didn't think I had Don Fartleone jokes? Huh? You didn't think I would have had no Don Fartleone jokes? And, I'm going to do you like our teachers used to do us. We're not going to move forward until y'all tell me who did this. I need to know who is responsible for this. Huh? I need to know who's responsible. And then had the nerve to post on top of it. I get why people think hashtag Trump smells like ass, but has anybody ever considered that maybe his ass would smells like Trump? I need to know who did it. I need to know who is responsible. For us to move forward as a community, it's important to have accountability. It's important to have accountability. And right now we have none. Right now we have absolutely no accountability whatsoever as a community. Y'all not going to own up. Y'all not going to tell me who Photoshopped honk if you're okay with Trump sharding in court onto Marjorie Taylor Greene's sign.
Yeah, go Trump!
Y'all not going to say who did it? Y'all not going to say who did it? Huh? Everybody raise your hands all at once. Huh? Nobody going to own up to honk if you're okay with Trump sharding in court. Nobody going to own up to that? Huh? Okay. That's fine. Maybe we won't find the person responsible for that. But I demand to find the person responsible for this. To help with the odor in the court, the jury will be fitted with gas masks. Hashtag Trump smells like ass. Word? You just went and photoshopped gas masks on the whole jury? You didn't think I would have enjoyed that? You don't think I would have enjoyed hashtag odor in the court? Photoshop gas masks on the whole jury while I'm on vacation. Childish. Somebody gonna claim this? Somebody gonna claim that? Nobody gonna claim it? Huh? Is it AI? AI just made Trump farting all by himself. AI just made it all by himself, huh? Is AI? Is that what it is? I thought we were cool. I started this channel and I wanted to try and build a community. I wanted to try and build a community. I thought we were cool. And then I leave for a week and y'all got hashtag Trump smells like ass and odor in the court trending for the whole week. Normally somebody has to die to trend all week. OJ was knocked off the trends in 24 hours. Less than. But y'all got odor in the court trending for 4 days. Hashtag Trump smells like ass. That was still trending last night. I almost didn't post the Stephen A. Smith video, which we'll get to. I almost didn't post the Stephen A. Smith video because I said, this is clearly odor in the court, clearly has a chokehold on my people. Clearly, they are not past odor in the court. I think I need to address that. I almost didn't post Stephen A. Smith because I felt like I needed to address odor in the court.
So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended. So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence.
Y'all wild, man. Y'all wild. That's all I gotta say. Y'all are wild. Yes, Cornella, I do. Really? You guess I need to clear the air? Now, just put aside for a moment, how the f is this the mayor's fault? Just put that to the side. Welcome to Racist of the Week, where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, and definitely leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. Our first nominee, Phil Lyman. As you well know, the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. You know what? No. That bridge did not collapse. It was struck. It was hit. Why people just act like the bridge, it just fell down. We don't know what happened. Maybe the bolts got tired. It was knocked down. Damn. That's like saying the Taco Bell collapsed after the car doing donuts in the parking lot lost control and plowed into the dining room. Anyway, a cargo ship reportedly lost control and rammed into a support structure for the bridge, bringing it down Tuesday morning. Now, for non-racists, this was a time for prayers and reflection. But for racists, it was time to blame DEI. Utah Republican lawmaker and gubernatorial candidate Phil Lyman posted this. This is what happens when you have governors who prioritize diversity over the well-being and security of citizens, while quote tweeting a post from something called the Young Conservatives Federation, reading, "Let's meet the commissioner for the Port of Baltimore, starting with Corinthia A. Barber. She knows nothing about ports, but she is a diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging auditor and consultant." Actually, you know what? Let's add them too. Second nominee for Racist of the Week, the Young Conservatives Federation. Now, you've watched these before, and you know this is when I fire up the barbecue, but I am actually coming in the spirit of gratitude. And no, it's not because of my other Way of Waters channel, but you should go ahead and follow that one, by the way. No, I come in gratitude because these two posts were so sloppy and lazy in their racism, they gave up the whole DEI blame game. Like if the slowest member of your crew took your master plan and left it in the vault when he tried to strike out on his own. Let's deconstruct. First of all, these posts were made before any investigation was even underway, which is important because we don't need facts. Why wait for facts tomorrow when you could just blame DEI today? Now, let me ask you, if a ship plows into a bridge and you don't have any facts, who do you hold responsible? Now, the wise answer is wait and see, but let's assume we're just simple-minded trolls looking to stir the pot, like Elon Musk on Mountain Dew. Maybe the ship's captain? Maybe the ship's manufacturer? Maybe the person who's routing the ships? Maybe the bridge engineer? Well, those would all be wrong. Apparently the answer is the commissioners for the Port of Baltimore. And how do you come to that answer? Because one of them is black, of course, which means somebody had to check all of those people to find one who's black, and they landed on the commissioners for the Port of Baltimore. And as dumb as that tweet would be when you press send, they went with it anyway. And thank goodness they did. It's kind of like leaving the numbers in the boxes in a paint by numbers masterpiece. This is invaluable material. But think about what I just said. They went through all of the logical people without any facts and landed on the one who was black to blame, which also means it couldn't be any of the others' fault because they're not black, as is the case in any other transportation catastrophe or really any catastrophe of any kind. I mean, when we hear about a train derailment or subway mishap, it's never, what's with all these white people? This is what happens when there's no DEI. But when there's a brown face in the general vicinity, no matter how far away it is, it's an indictment of all of us. See, they pointed to Israel and then to plagiarism. With Boeing, they pointed to HBCU programs, all misdirection. But this was so lazy, they just left the pure, unadulterated racism just out in the open for all to see and exposed the whole game. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. No, wait, it gets better. When reached for comment by the Salt Lake Tribune, when asked why he immediately went to racism while people haven't even been accounted for yet, Lyman said, well, it was not our best moment. The post was a knee-jerk reaction to some of the things others were putting out there. Now, this is my favorite. Quote, Lyman struggled to explain why he believed that DEI played a hand in the tragedy. Oh, you think? Lyman struggled to explain why he believed DEI played a hand in the tragedy before saying he didn't write the posts. He said his social media team often posts without his approval, which is what happened on Tuesday morning. So what you're saying is, even though I've railed against DEI in the past, this time it wasn't me being racist. This was something racist my team wrote because they thought it fit my brand and the tone of content that we see online. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I may be racist, but my team is racist too. And so are all these other idiots online posting the same stuff. You know what? When you're right, Phil. And Phil, you are right. Like this doozy from a Twitter account with almost 300,000 followers who posted, quote, this is Baltimore's DEI mayor commenting on the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's going to get so much worse. Prepare accordingly. Now, just put aside for a moment, how the f is this the mayor's fault? Just put that to the side and ask yourself, how are mayors chosen? Are they nominated? See, King George, he needed a representative in the States, and he chose somebody that he could trust. But he also knew a brown face would curry favor with the people. They are pointing to DEI for duly elected officials. So now, not only can a black person not work their way up to a job without it being DEI, they surely can't be nominated for anything without it being DEI. Now we can't even be elected by regular people without it being DEI. You get it now? The degree of laziness on the part of Racist Inc. is rare. They are ignorant and misguided, but they typically put in the work, at least online, to give the good, decent white folks something to hold on to so they can get on board with your schemes. But they gave them nothing but cold, hard macaroni that wasn't even baked. It was so sorry, even Elon Musk's website had to put in a note of context saying the mayor was elected with over 70% of the vote. I guess those were DEI ballots, right? You know how wrong you gotta be for Elon Musk's website to have to clean it up? But that's where we are, teaching an account with 270,000 followers how elections work after he posts about one. You know what? Anonymous Cornball, you can get a nomination too. Our third nominee for the Racist of the Week, this Anonymous Cornball. Now, I'm going to give Mayor Brandon Scott the final word. Before I do, if you have somebody you would like to nominate, go ahead and leave it in the comments. You can email me at reese.waters@gmail.com. I got videos on Elon Musk, Ronna McDaniel and the MSNBC mess, Candace Owens, and Clarence Thomas on the way. Be sure to subscribe to the page and make sure you get notified when the next video drops. Brandon, you got it.
I know, and we all know, and you know very well, that black men and young black men in particular have been the boogeyman for those who are racist and think that only straight, wealthy white men should have a say in anything. We've been the boogeyman from them since the first day they brought us to this country. And what they mean by DEI, in my opinion, is duly elected incumbent. We know what they want to say, but they don't have the courage to say the N-word. And the fact that I don't believe in their untruthful and wrong ideology, and I am very proud of my heritage and who I am and where I come from, scares them, because me being at my position means that their way of thinking, their way of life of being comfortable and suffering, and while everyone else suffers, is going to be at risk, and they should be afraid, because that's my purpose in life.
The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
He ain't really saying nothing.
In today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division.
Hey, The Rock, or Rock? Hey, Rocky. Dwayne Johnson, let me holler at you for a second.
Shut up, bitch!
Now, it all started when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sat down for an interview with Will Cain of Fox News and said that he wouldn't be publicly endorsing any political candidate ahead of the 2024 election.
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
That was a nice sleight of hand by Cain, changing the question from "do you regret that" to "the state of the world." That's very Fox Newsy of you, jabroni. So Rock, really what you're saying is that you went and you decided to take a stand because you felt it in your soul that you needed to take a stand, and the stand caused division. That's crazy. That is wild. I mean, when you think about all the stands that people have taken, they never cause division. Like, I can't imagine all of the people that we lift up for taking a stand and there was no division. You know, the Martin Luther Kings, the Mandelas, the Rosa Parks, the Harvey Milks, whoever the case may be, the Susan B. Anthonys, whoever it is that took a stand and there was no division. You know, there was no division. But somehow when you decided to take a stand, there was division. That is just wild. I can't imagine how painful that must be, and I can't imagine how you move about life. Like, oh, I heard you took a phone number from that girl. Well, you know, I would have had to take a stand, sweetheart, and I didn't want to cause division. It would have caused division if I rejected her phone number. So I didn't want to take that stand, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to unite, and so she and I also came together in the same ways that you and I come together, because I bring people together. I don't know how this works for you business-wise. I mean, clearly you take a stand when you're making a choice on scripts. Actually, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe that actually might explain Black Adam. Now I totally get it, because you didn't want to take a stand and cause division by throwing that script in the trash can. So you just decided, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I will unite the people. Now, one thing I will say about this, okay? A lot of this was much ado about nothing, because it's not like he came out and said, oh, I decided I'm going to switch. 4 years ago, I endorsed Joe Biden, and this time around, I'm going to endorse Donald Trump. It was nothing like that. He just decided he wasn't going to make his endorsement public. And all of the hysteria about this, you know, it kind of reminds me of a Dave Chappelle joke.
Stop worshiping celebrities so much. Just don't listen, pay attention. I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. We got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. You think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this? Where is Ja?
Who do you endorse for this election? It doesn't matter what his name is. Why do we care about who The Rock endorses? Did I know that The Rock had endorsed Joe Biden in 2020? No. I probably saw it at some point. I totally forgot because it wasn't significant. Why do we put so much importance and significance on any of this? I mean, I will say this. It is funny how rarely Trump can actually get a good celebrity endorsement.
I never withhold an endorsement because I'm not that smart, Jesse. I'm endorsing President Trump 100%.
Man, if you told me in 1997 that half of Lois and Clark would go out like this, I wouldn't have cared then either. But other than laughing at the state of Trump's celebrity caravan, it's ultimately not important. Like, what would be more important is if, you know, the guy who was your vice president last time you were president didn't endorse you. Oh, that's right. He's not endorsing Trump. Well, surely that would be much bigger news. I mean, especially on the right. Here you have the time that was spent on Mike Pence deciding not to endorse the man he worked under for 4 years. 4 minutes. 4 minutes on Fox News. That is a minute for every year of service. If he only would have stood up and did the right thing, they would have gave him 5 minutes at least. By the way, he also decided to run against him in the Republican primary. I know you forgot that because it was a blink and you're gone moment. But he was in the race. Then when he left the race, still refused to endorse Donald Trump. So you tell me what is more significant, that The Rock is not endorsing anybody, or Mike Pence, your former vice president, will not endorse Donald Trump. You tell me. I don't know if he's faithful. I mean, his wife said he's unfaithful. His kids said he's unfaithful. But the guy across the street, the neighbor, says he's not really sure. So I can't really figure out which way to go. I don't know if the schools are good in that neighborhood. I mean, the people that live in that neighborhood said the schools are good, but Rowdy Roddy Piper said he's not sure. So Could go either way. I mean, I don't know which weight to put on what. What time is the bus coming? Well, the people say the bus coming at 7:30. But Stone Cold Steve Austin said he has no idea. So who can you trust? Who cares what the former vice president won't endorse when you can blow out a wrestler also not endorsing? And this was all over Fox News on the homepage, and X had it trending for multiple days. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of my body in my 20s. It just accepts nothing but garbage. Like, you get to a point where you just run on garbage. You try and feed it something good. You try and feed it some vegetables. You try and feed it some actual legitimate information like Mike Pence, and it doesn't know what to do with it. Like, it doesn't know what to do with good information. If it's not some random misinformation, if it's not some deflection, if it's not an offensive meme, X and Fox News, it breaks the system. Okay, those are the things it thrives on. Give me rap snacks or nothing. Oh, what's that? He had more to say? Okay, let's go ahead.
And as you and I have talked about, if you ask me a direct question, I'm always going to give you a direct answer, whatever it is. And that's important to me. And authenticity, we hear that word a lot, but that's important to me. And I feel like, and I mean, we could go down the well here, but in today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me.
Why? Why, Rock? You was doing good. You was doing good, and then you had to go and throw him the cancel culture and the woke culture. I thought we weren't saying nothing. I thought that was the whole point. We weren't saying nothing. You should have knew your role and shut your mouth. Here's my question. What's woke culture? Go ahead. What is woke culture? Go ahead and answer the question. Not a single person that was watching that on Fox can define woke culture.
How do you define wokeness?
Wokeness is the destruction of normalcy and
but I tell you this, they know it when they see it. It's called us. Man, you came a long way from the nation of domination. Ron Simmons would be so ashamed. But you know what? Maybe you just didn't want to create division. Maybe that's it. You didn't want to create division, so you said, you know what? I'm just going to toss out the right-wing talking points, you know, because I don't want to take a stand. I don't want to create no division. So I'm just going to say what it is that they want me to say that would make their viewers feel good to bring the people together. Was that it? By the way, as for your cancel culture, we have some good news.
Is that a Budweiser hat? Like, was it a year ago, right, that you famously posted that video of, I think you were shooting some Bud Light cans after the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. So you've lightened up on Bud Light?
This is a cool hat. I don't know. Man, that is just, man, we got, I didn't know what hat I was wearing. We got bigger targets. I mean, when you look at who just Planet Fitness, like what are they doing? Like Ben and Jerry's. I don't want to put any targets on people's back. Target, like I talked to the dudes from Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch, the CEO, and the people like, man, they messed up. It's too bad they just won't say it. Like, hey, we messed up a little bit, you know, whatever. But that's not how they're cut. And you know what? I got my answer, and I don't want to hurt people's jobs and stuff like that when they don't have any dog in the fight. But there's a whole lot more companies we should be going after for sure.
Well, apparently, cancel culture is canceled. Hello. Yeah, I had a message for Joe Biden. Apparently, you can get a Kid Rock endorsement for the low price of a mesh hat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think so. I was just letting you know. Oh, wait, what's that? He could stick the Rudy Poo up his candy ass. I mean, America calls itself the land of the free and the home of the brave, but this is proof both of those claims are questionable at best. Hi, I'm Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. You ever see a list of firsts, and you're supposed to feel empowerment, gratitude, and awe, but you just sitting there mad, thinking about how in the hell did this take that damn long? Like, for instance, PBS Pinchback was the first African American to serve as an acting state governor. I had no idea. A publisher and state senator, Pinchback became lieutenant governor of Louisiana, of all places, in 1871 and served as governor for 36 days from December 9th, 1872 to January 13th, 1873, while the sitting governor faced impeachment proceedings. Incredible, right? But a black man wasn't elected governor of a state until Douglas Wilder in 1990 in Virginia. So y'all knew the state wouldn't fall apart with a black man at the helm, but waited another 100 years to elect one anyway? What type of... And when they did, so many people turned Calvin Candy when they got in the booth, they had to name the phenomenon the Wilder effect. Well, at least racism has a name. My mind is very often blown every time I see any kind of black firsts, because it's wild to me how long it took for some of these things to happen. But let's look at the world of politics, which is especially bad. I mean, America calls itself the land of the free and the home of the brave, but this is proof both of those claims are questionable at best. Apparently, the only thing free was the labor. And I'm also questioning the brave part, because anybody who talks about this is immediately hit with some sort of backlash. And personally, I think anybody running away from a tough conversation about history is a coward. The only reason to avoid these kinds of conversations is that you secretly don't want things to change. Like, for example, the first black person to own land in this country was back in 1670 when Zipporah Porter Atkins bought her home in colonial Boston. Black people first arrived in 1619 and were forced to indentured servitude before outright slavery became the norm. Miss Porter Atkins defied all the odds, being a free black woman and a homeowner. It took 51 years for that to happen, so think of that when you pay your mortgage tomorrow. Now, I already mentioned Douglas Wilder at the outset, our first elected black governor, and a bit more about the Wilder effect, which is the theory that proposes that some white voters who intend to vote for the white candidate will tell pollsters they're undecided or likely to vote for the non-white candidate for fear of looking like a racist, which might explain some of these late firsts. Robert C. Weaver became the nation's first African-American cabinet member when President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed him Secretary of Housing and Urban Development back in 1966. We really didn't have a black cabinet member until 1966, the year the Batman TV show with Adam West premiered, and even there we didn't get a black Catwoman until the third season. Quick question. Who is the current Secretary of Housing and Urban Development? Exactly. Any president prior to Johnson could have just thrown Black America a bone and nobody would have even noticed. Well, I mean, it's not entirely true. Racists would have noticed. But the point being, it wouldn't have affected Americans' day-to-day living one iota and would have been politically beneficial, aside from the people who would hold it against you for nominating a black person for a position they have no knowledge or understanding of. I think we found the answer. We got to fight for everything in this country. 1977, Patricia Roberts Harris became the first African-American woman to hold a cabinet position. On top of that, she was also the first African-American woman to serve as a U.S. ambassador. That is two firsts from the same person in the 70s. Impressive, but greatly overdue. Shirley Chisholm became the first black congresswoman in 1969. She once said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. And you can see why she said that, because she'd still be standing if she hadn't. Here in D.C., Sharon Pratt Kelly became the first African-American woman to serve as a mayor of a major American city in 1991. And it took another mayor getting arrested for smoking crack for that to happen. Shout out to the mayor for life, Marion Barry. She did get the job done, so I'm not putting an asterisk on her accomplishment. Besides, in those days, it was a Herculean task to go after the mayor's spot when Barry was holding it down. I'm giving Sharon Pratt Kelly her flowers. Carol Moseley Braun became the first African-American woman to be elected to the U.S. Senate 2 years later in 1992. The same year Criss Cross dropped Jump. Now, for the record, black women have been here since the very beginning. It took this country that long to elect a black woman, and it happened in the year the two kids had people wearing their pants backwards. Seems fitting. We all know in 2008, America got its first African-American president, Barack Obama.
We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America.
And if you were around back then, you know how big of a deal it was. Most people didn't think they'd ever see it in their lifetime, myself included. I mean, at least until John McCain picked Sarah Palin as a running mate. And God bless her inept soul for accidentally helping this milestone happen. The great Maya Angelou became the first black woman to appear on U.S. currency when her image was placed on a quarter. In 2022, really, America? For the record, black women have been here since the beginning. I said that. Shout out to the life and legacy of Maya Angelou, though. It took a long time for this one, but still, you rise. Andrew Jackson actually killed people, and he's been on the 20 forever. They need to quit playing and print those Harriet Tubman 20s. I need my tub dubs. Now, that year, we also got the first black woman sworn into the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's right, 2022, post-pandemic. Still, 22 was a big year for overdue history. The members of the House Democratic Caucus unanimously elected Hakeem Jeffries to succeed Nancy Pelosi as their leader, making him the first African-American to lead a party in either chamber of the United States Congress, which means the entire country elected a black man to lead them before either chamber in either party elected a black man to lead them. I think I've made my point clearly. We're still experiencing too many black firsts for a country that was first permanently settled in 1608, the first black people arriving shortly thereafter. Now, it's shameful it took so long for these things to happen, given the country's history of indentured servitude, then slavery, then black codes, then Jim Crow, and now MAGA. I mean, it's clear why racial progress has moved slower than molasses. But on the bright side, I am happy these things are finally happening. Still, it's natural to wonder, what took y'all so long? If you have anything that troubles you, you could throw them in the comments. I'll consider them as a future topic in this particular series. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page for future editions.